Morning, Steve Free in Chicago with the morning grain comments. Well, this starts March Madness and NC2A U.S. basketball, but not much change as far as overnight grain prices. I think the market still is waiting some news about the trade deal. We're watching export sales data and then watching the U.S. weather patterns. As far as export sales, the market's looking for somewhere around 1 million tons of beans, maybe a little under 1 million tons of corn, and somewhere around 3, maybe 400,000 tons of wheat. To this date, soybean and wheat sales have run behind the pace needed to meet the USDA's goal, which suggests that they could lower exports and raise the carryout. For corn, we started out great, and we are ahead of the pace that needed to get to USDA numbers, but all of a sudden the last few weeks we've slowed down, and some people think that could be due to the upcoming harvest of the South American crops. Their prices are cheaper, and in fact yesterday there were some rumors floating around that Argentina corn is cheap enough that it could actually work into the U.S. East Coast. So those are always interesting times for especially U.S. farmers that are trying to sell their corn here in the United States. As far as weather is concerned, it should be dry over the next few days. A rain event is expected to move across the Midwest Sunday and Monday, and then another rain event, probably a little bit heavier, next weekend. So we're not getting a lot of break as far as flooding is concerned. Soil temperatures continue to be below levels that we can start planting corn, and the soils are still wet, so we're looking at delayed plantings in the corn. Market has to decide on March 29th if the USDA numbers could change, looking at maybe switching some corn into soybeans because of the late season. Funds yesterday, they bought beans and they bought meal. They sold corn and they sold some soybean oil. So at the end of the day, they continue to be short of almost 240,000 corn, 65,000 wheat, and about 84,000 beans. Yesterday, the President of the United States said that they were going to continue to possibly keep tariffs on China, even if there's a deal, looking at trying to get some way to figure out how to enforce China to meet their obligations of the deal. If they don't, the tariffs could stay on. Key things is, as far as the deals is concerned, some people are talking about easing the burden on U.S. companies that are doing business in China, no retaliation to the U.S. on the deal, tariffs, pace when they're taking off, China and the United States, and cross-border data flow or intellectual property protection. So next week, trade representatives go to China to try to hammer out the last language and maybe come to a conclusion to sign the deal. Certainly, the U.S. needs China to come in and buy additional ag goods to help prices. So again, weather not conducive for early plantings here in the United States. Trade negotiations continue to go on. For the most part, funds are short and record short grains going into this growing season. And we'll just kind of see what the USDA says as far as acres next Friday. As always, these are my thoughts and not those of ADM or ADM Investor Services. Have a safe and profitable trading day.